And welcome to our August edition of Sports Highlights. Hope everybody's having a great summer. Glad you're with us for our show that airs on Mondays at 7 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m., weekends at 9 a.m. since February of 1992. This is Sports Highlights. Greg Bicaveras, glad you're with us. Our guests on this show today are Woods Woolwine, the general manager of the Newport News Golf Club, and Jerome Ford. We'll be talking about the wonderful sport of flag football. Woods, good to see you.
Good to see you, Greg.
Very good. You went to Lafayette. You grew up here.
Yes, sir.
Which, of course, Williamsburg is a great golf community.
Yep, I grew up, played a lot of junior golf up in Williamsburg. Started my career at Kings Mill. Then I moved on to Cypress Creek in Smithfield for 20 years. And then I ended up back in Ford's Colony as the head pro before coming down to Newport News Golf Club 3 years ago.
I've always been amazed. My mother went to William Mary, got her master's. My sister taught at Berkeley, schools you're familiar with, that a small place like that has got Colonial Williamsburg, has got Busch Gardens, has got Water Country, has got the elite river course at Kingsmill that was a PGA and LPGA event, has got Ford's Colony. It's just a lot to do there.
There's plenty to do there for adults, for kids. I mean, it was great growing up there as a kid, but also as becoming an adult, you know, the opportunities in the golf business with Kings Mill, with Ford's Colony. I started out, I was a caddy when I was younger, a caddy for Fred Funk at the Anheuser-Busch when he was there. So I learned some valuable things. He used to stay at our house and just in the golf game, some valuable information caddying for him, and it was a great experience.
Not to mention he coached the University of Maryland.
Correct.
And what do you think about that whole event? That was such a popular event from the 80s on. And of course, Curtis Strange was the pro. He won the U.S. Open in 88 and 89, but he couldn't win that event.
Well, you know, Curtis was a friend of the family, and he always said he had so much going on that week. You know, he was entertaining friends. Jay Haas was his good friend, and he had a lot of friends that were coming in town, so he was always entertaining. He's a big fisherman, so he went out on the boat a lot, so he was out fishing with the boys during that week. So it's always tough when you're having to host and entertain and it's your event. So, I mean, I understand why, but yeah, I think he finished top 10 a couple times.
That's totally true because he was multitasking all the time. You would
Absolutely.
go on the James River, you would see the Tiger,
Navy fleet.
Yeah, the Navy fleet as well. And of course, talking to Woods Woolwine, general manager of the Newport News Golf Club. And of course, speaking of Tiger, what are your thoughts on him recovering from his injury? He did win the Masters at one time.
He did. He went through a pretty tough injury. So I mean, it's going to be tough to recover because golf, the level of golf has risen so much that you know the competition level is just crazy out there. And, you know, he's an elite athlete for sure, but, you know, it's tough to come back from something like that and get back to where he was. Now, I think he's focused more on his son's future, which could be a real bright future.
You talk about the different majors, too. It's really, the calendar is really weird. I'm a creature of habit. I went to the 90 U.S. Open back when it was in the summer. So you got the Masters still in its same place. Then you got the U.S. Open, the PGA Championship kind of mixed up, and then of course the Open, which used to be called the British Open.
Right.
Your thoughts on the whole alignment?
I've never really. That's my major events. I'll watch all the majors. The other events I'll just watch them if I'm sitting at home. But I always love watching the majors. The Masters is obviously top of the list for me. U.S. Open carries a lot, and then the British Open. Those are the three to me. Obviously PGA Championship because I'm a PGA member. Is a lot too, but you know the Masters is the biggest one out there in my opinion.
Right, and of course we're talking to Woods Woolwine. He's the general manager of the Newport News Golf Club, and you had some pretty big shoes to fill. Greg Overton.
Sure, absolutely. You know, I think he was there 40-some years. So, and it was nice coming in. I'd always liked Newport News Golf Club. I grew up playing in the junior golf tournaments there, the Red Spiegel, the Newport News Amateur, the Old Dominion Amateur. So I grew up, I had a lot of roots there playing in competitive events. But when I was at Cypress, I always told my owner, which was Doyce Rosser, that the only place I would leave to go is the Newport News came open. And it came open and the opportunity arose, so I jumped on it, and it's been awesome since the last 3 years, you know.
And you talk about the location, great location, not far from Williamsburg, close to everybody off the interstate. And of course, during the holidays, they have the Celebration of Light. So that's a multi-purpose facility there.
It is, and we have 36 holes, you know, 36 championship holes. And Brad Pagram's the superintendent there, has done an excellent job. He's taken it. Since I got there 3 years ago, the amount of work we put into greens and tees and fairways, I would put it up there with any of the courses around here right now.
Yeah, what are the difficult spots on both courses?
Well, you're talking about play-wise? So play-wise, the championship course is going to be a little bit longer than the Cardinal course. The front nine of the Cardinal course is shorter. a little bit more playable. The par fives are shorter. The par fours are going to be, instead of 450, they're going to be 380. But the backside of Cardinals Long, Deer Run is just a championship caliber course. So all your par fours are going to be 400 and some yards. All your par fives are going to be 500 and some yards, and the par threes are the toughest of all of them. You're not going to find one under 190.
Right. Now, we talked about, Kings Mill and the great golfers there over the years, like Calvin Peete and Curtis Strange. But we had another player here, and we've interviewed him before, Skeeter Heath.
Absolutely.
And Skeeter actually made several cuts of the U.S. Open. Not many people know that. It's not just Curtis, but Skeeter as well.
Sure, yeah. And funny story, I grew up with Skeeter. He's a little bit older than I am, but I grew up. He lived in the same neighborhood that we lived in, and I played a lot of golf with him. And I was 8, 9 years old, and he would come out and play with us, and he would beat us, and he'd play on his knees.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he had one of the best swings out there.
Right. He's one of the most talented drivers I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
And I can see why he made U.S. Open cuts, and he was competing against the kings of the king back then. Elite names like Tom Watson and so forth. But the loss to the community once the Kings Mill event stopped, it seemed like it stopped pretty much cold turkey right during the COVID season.
It did, and it's a shame because it was a big staple in Williamsburg, and a lot of the tour players, me caddying for Fred, I hear these stories, but a lot of the tour players loved coming there because you had Busch Gardens, you had Colonial Williamsburg, Water Country, so there was a family event for the tour players, so they loved it. For the community and everything, it obviously is a big loss to all the charities. The charities took in a lot throughout the event, and it's a shame, but you understand that things change, and some sponsorships aren't there anymore. So
right, and this is not a big area. This is not New York or Chicago, but that was like a fifth major to the LPGA players.
Oh yeah, definitely for the LPGA, it was a big event.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of the high school golfers you see come through there sometimes when they play. Is it fundamentals? What are the biggest things they have to work on?
It's fundamentals are big, and it's it's actually being involved and staying involved in the game. You can get so sidetracked with golf and not practice. Who needs practice? So but golf is a big thing with repetition. So they need to stay on the driving range and stay focused. There's a lot of good ones coming through.
I always said that about tennis, is that it's not something you can pick up a racket a week before the season starts. Golf is something you can do all year long, especially in this area.
You can, but you're hitting that little ball right there with a little head, so it takes a little, you got to practice.
Let's talk about the quality of these golf balls. Mm-hmm. These are all very good, and the shelf life of a golf ball, it seems like once you hit it and you don't hit it well, it's gone.
Yeah, it's going in the water or the woods.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, you got a bunch of different balls out there now. The Pro V is probably, by stats and everything, one of the best balls out there. Srixon makes a diamond golf ball that's up there right with it. It really is based on your swing. There's a lot of different variables in the cover. If the cover's soft, the cover's hard. So there's a lot of variables, and you should know your swing speed to really actually fit the correct golf ball.
And clubs are a different. Talk about all the different clubs and drivers and putters.
And clubs are a little bit more similar now. It's more down to the shafts that are different. The way they fit people into clubs now, the shaft with the swing speeds and everything. Because a lot of the clubs, the heads, some of the driver heads are going to be real thin for a trampoline effect, but the shaft is where you're going to see, you've got a senior shaft, you got a ladies shaft, you got a men's shaft, so that's where where you make the big adjustments with players.
Very good. The future of your golf club, you're always trying to evolve. What about tournaments?
We love outside tournaments. We do charity tournaments. We have a bunch of leagues right now. We have 2 senior men's leagues that play on Tuesday and Thursdays. We have 2 ladies leagues that play on Wednesday. Then we have a ladies 9-hole league that plays on Monday. And then we have a bunch of PM leagues that play. So, we have a ton of leagues going, and it's been great because what we've done on Monday through Thursday is we've changed our Cardinal course into 2 9-hole courses after 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we can run off both sides. And then our championship course is our 18-hole course.
Yeah, and you pretty much, we're in August now, going through December. Of course, it gets dark earlier. That's the biggest distraction, I guess, sometime in November.
Right, absolutely.
How does that affect everything?
Well, you just push everything back. The leagues,
Yeah.
the leagues basically run till the end of October. So and then the November through December, you get your early morning play, and that's about it.
Right. You have those regulars that play every day, and there's ones that only want to play in the morning because they don't like night activities.
No,
and they don't want to play in the afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we got our regulars that play Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They're every day. They get the first tee time every day because we have an online booking system now with our app that they can go on and book. So 9 days out, they're on their computer booking it at 12 o'clock at night, so they can make sure they get that time. But yeah, we've got plenty of regulars that play on a regular basis first thing in the morning.
Now, what about walk-ins?
We take walk-ins, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, we got an app on the App Store. It's Newport News Golf Club.
Okay.
It's perfect. And then our website, nngolfclub.com.
Sure.
We do book. You can book right on there, and there's no fee. You can see what tee times. You can pick your own and book right on there.
Now, talk about the tourists that come in the area. Do you get a lot of tourists who might be going to one of the amusement parks in Williamsburg and they say, you know what, let's play here, or they mostly stay in Williamsburg?
We do. We get a lot from Williamsburg, and it's mainly because we're a public facility. Our rates are one of the lowest in the area. The city of Newport News keeps the rates so that everybody can afford it, and that's the beauty of the course. So yeah, we do get a lot. They search us on Yahoo, and we pop up, and they come on down. But yeah, we get a lot from Williamsburg.
Now, you worked at Forest Colony as well.
I
You
did.
worked in Kings Mill as well. You got
Started in
roots
Kings
there. Talk about the Newport News Golf Club. You said city sanctioned, pretty much city compared to, let's say, Kings Mill.
Yeah, I mean, those are obviously both private clubs and everything. And, going from a private to a public, it's a big difference. You don't have the membership and everything. But, I love dealing with the public, and, that's where I am. I'm a people person. You come talk to me, I'm going to talk right back to you. I'm going to you come jab at me, I'm going to jab at you. So we'll have a good time, and that's that's the relationship I've made with a lot of the regulars out there, which has been great.
And there's no more humbling sport than golf.
No, absolutely.
I'll add tennis to that as well. But, Curtis always liked playing here at the James River Country Club to get away from all that.
Sure.
Why was that? Just so he could concentrate?
Because it was a private club, and he didn't have people bothering him.
Right.
I remember a story when I was working up at Kings Mill. He walked down. He used to drive his truck down to the starter shack and get his own range balls, and then drive to the back of the range in his starter truck. Or in his pickup truck. So he went in there and he was getting them out, and this lady walked up to the starter shack. The starter was out at the time, and she just thought he was the starter, and she started giving him a ticket and said, "I need to get out and play."
Yeah.
He's like,
Oh, yeah, he had a sense of humor.
He did.
And finally, your tip for a beginning golfer.
Get lessons, start out properly. Yeah, don't just grab a club and go because you'll get frustrated. The different weights of the clubs can definitely make a difference in your swing. And, if you go to the proper instructor and look at the fundamentals of the game and everything, they'll put you into the right clubs and equipment.
And I'm left-handed. You still don't see many left-handed golfers.
Occasionally.
Yeah, I know it. Very good. Woods, all the best to you. Thank you for your time, your talent, and your treasure, and enlighten us about the wonderful sport of golf.
Thanks, Ray. Appreciate
Very
it.
good. Woods Woolwine, the general manager of the Newport News Golf Club. Stay tuned for our next guest as we talk about the wonderful sport of flag football on our August edition of Sports Highlights.
You're watching NNPS TV. Catch sports highlights on Mondays at 7, 2, and 7, and on Saturdays and Sundays at 9 a.m. Visit us online at nnpstv.com to view all your favorite episodes. NNPS TV, watching education happen.
Hi, I'm Ethan Flinkenbeard, and I'm a student in the NNPS Telecommunications program. Enrolling in telecom has helped me expand my knowledge and skills in filming and broadcasting. I've learned skills such as camera operation, editing, directing, Take One, studio operation, and live remote production. I'm also a paid intern, working various sporting events, school board meetings, conferences, and talk shows. And I'm so thankful for the opportunities that telecom has provided me with to help me get my career off the ground.
And welcome to our second segment of our August 2024 edition of Sports Highlights. Don't forget, all of our shows are on YouTube and social media in addition to cable TV as well. Hope you enjoyed our interview about golf. Let's switch gears now to the wonderful sport of flag football. And who is better else to talk about it than Jerome Ford? Jerome, good to see you.
Thank you, Greg, for having me.
So your league is based out of Yorktown.
Yes, we are in Yorktown.
We'll talk about it.
So we meet at the McReynolds Center over in Yorktown. The league runs in the fall and the spring, and it runs for 6 weeks. So we have a week of meet and greet. Then we have 5 weeks where we play the game on Sundays, and then we have a playoff that happens the week after the season is over, and that's on springtime and fall.
Right. Of course, nothing during the winter, correct?
There is a winter league that happens actually in Virginia Beach, and it's an indoor winter league, 5-on-5 that happens because they can accommodate the weather.
It's amazing how flag football has grown, not just locally, but regionally and nationally as well.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes, it is amazing, even just looking at where they're going with flag football with the Olympics in 2028. So it is very encouraging to see where it's moving in the direction that it's moving into. It is encouraging.
And it's a great sport that kids, women, and men can all play.
Yes, so it's co-ed. Even now, with from kindergarten through high school, we have co-ed teams that play together, and it's awesome. It makes for a fun environment.
Very good. We're talking to Jerome Ford. He is with flag football, of course, based in York County, Yorktown. I tell you, McReynolds is a great multi-purpose facility. People play baseball, softball, and flag football there.
Yes, they have all three going sometimes simultaneously. You'll get out there and you'll see soccer, a soccer game going on while flag football is going on, and you'll see baseball being played a few clicks down the road. But it's a beautiful, it's fun. It's very intimate. All the families are right there, so a little bit different than being in the stadium, which just makes for a very family-friendly environment. So
Huge facility, and of course several restrooms there, and of course it's a great place just to unwind because people walk around there too.
Yes, there is a walking path. I've actually walked before games just to kind of reset, and you walk a mile or so around the field, and you can talk, and there's a concession stand. You can make purchases with water, and
sure.
It's a really great location to have sports.
Well, let's talk about flag football. How many players on the opposing team, and how many like offense, defense, and of course time limits as well?
So it's 5-on-5 flag. Again, it's co-ed, and so you have 5 players on offense, and then you have 5 players that play on defense. It is time restricted, so it's limited to a 24-hour, not a 24-hour half, a 24-minute half, so 48 minutes, and then both sides will get a 1-minute timeout on each side of the half.
Very nice. And of course, you talk about you have to be physically fit to play it. And there have been games I've seen over the years where it's just 1 flag or 2 flags. I would assume it's more difficult to get 2 flags down.
Oh my goodness, yes. And the things that the kids are doing now, and the way they spin and move their hips, the agility that a lot of the kids have fun doing, and making the kids kind of miss, and it is hard to get those flags. It's a different skill set that's required in playing flag football.
Now I'll say this too, people always talk about how vicious tackle football is, which it is, but flag football, even though there's no helmets really, it still can be physical contact, bumping into each other.
Yeah, and I think the league has really done a really good job of making sure that it's emphasized safety first, and there are inadvertent things that happen, not intentional, though, because you're still contacting, you're catching the ball, and they're going for a flag, and so inadvertently things do happen. But by far, much more safe than contact.
Well, let's talk about your duties: coaching, playing, commissioner. You pretty much multitask, organize, talk to the county, protocol. You're involved in a lot of things with flag football.
Yeah, so as the coach, I am the in-between between the parents, any concerns that they have regarding what they see and on the field. There's a flag football ref that's out there every week that I interact with. They're very clear that the coach is the only one that can approach the referees about concerns. On a higher level, I'm the person as a coach who will reach out to the league and express any concerns about anything that I see.
You were telling a story off the air about Mr. Price's son, who recognized a talented player was on the bench. And that's really great because there's so many people involved in it that sometimes the kids can see the talent where somebody else might not be able to.
Yeah, one of the nice parts about coaching is the kids, they know and they understand what's going on. And if I can just for a second, there was a situation where 5 kids were on the field, the other 5 were off, and the best kid on the team was on the sideline because I value everyone having equal playing time. And one of the kids said, "Hey, we have to score a touchdown, and I think we should have the other kid be on the field to play and not me." And it was probably that's the character that I appreciate in watching the kids.
How many players per roster? Because you mentioned 5-on-5.
So they're 10 to 12.
Oh, wow, okay.
10 to 12 is the standard roster for the league.
What are your thoughts about the Olympics in the future? How that will change? I see the NFL is very involved in flag football too.
I am so excited about it. One of the things that as I'm watching this progress and I'm watching the development of flag football come along, even at this level from kindergarten through 8th grade, it's even expanded now through high school. And so I'm not surprised that this is expanded all the way to the Olympics.
Yeah, because it's great. As a tennis player, we see, badminton, now pickleball is very popular. You see more pickleball courts than tennis courts, which, sorry, tennis is still number one. But I think it's great because you got middle school football, you got varsity football, you got JV football, you got flag football. Not everybody wants to be hit hard.
No.
And you hear that all the time.
No, and I'm a product of that. I'll
Right.
be honest with you. My own son plays flag football, and it was a topic within our home, and we really didn't feel good about it. So he's playing flag, and he was so happy that they extended it through high school now.
Yeah. People always ask me, because we broadcast the games, is how is tackle football? Imagine getting in a car wreck without a seatbelt. It's that simple.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting tackled by people that might weigh 50 to 100 more pounds than you. Flag football, pulling down one flag or 2 flags, right? But people can push and shove too, I'm sure.
Yeah, they can do that, yes, but inherently a lot of those dangers are removed just by virtue of you only going for the flag, and I think it's a great step in the right direction.
All right, we'll talk about the equipment involved for the locals and tourists out there watching.
So again, it's called flag football. So the main equipment that's used is obviously the flag. So we got to have a flag. Mouth guards are part of it. Cleats are part of it. They do say no metal cleats. So you can't have a metal because you don't want to step on anyone. And so that's really the only equipment that is involved, Greg.
Well, there's football.
And then you need a football,
Right,
of course.
right.
You got to have a football. You have to have mouth guards for protection, and you have to have cleats. You have to have the flag. But really, that's it for the equipment.
Are players allowed to wear caps if they want to?
They can.
Okay.
They can wear caps, no chains. The shorts cannot have pockets, so they do have to make sure that their shorts are pocketless.
Now, what about uniforms as far as shorts and T-shirts?
So the jerseys are issued by the league, and in partnering with the, in this area, Commanders Flag Football, that's who we've partnered with, All the teams wear the same Commanders jersey, but they can wear whatever shorts they
Right.
want.
We're talking to Jerome Ford. He's talking about flag football. And of course, you deal with mental health full time. This is a big release for a lot of these kids and adults both.
It is, and it's one of the things that I enjoy outside of just being a coach and coaching the kids. I get to really have some really great conversations with them, and just being able to check in with them about their own mental health and how they're doing. And this is an outlet for a lot of the kids that are playing, and so it's great to be out and be active.
Yeah.
It's definitely important.
You definitely feel better when you exercise, but somebody told me something a long time ago. He says, when you jog and run, you never see the person smiling, but they're definitely smiling from the inside because their body is releasing so many toxic things.
That and their body, their heart is happy.
Yeah.
Their heart is happy that they're working out. You feel better, and yes, the endorphins that get released, the dopamine that gets released from being able to exert that type of level of energy, it all correlates with more positive mental health. So yes.
What do you recommend for somebody that's never played flag football before?
If someone has never played, go out and just have fun. Mm-hmm. That's the beauty of flag football. You don't need any experience. You can just go out and just have fun. Just run, have fun. That's it.
Now, do they get involved with Parks and Recreation of Yorktown? How do they get in contact with you?
So they would go through NFL Flag Football League. They can just literally Google NFL Flag Football League, and then they would just look for the area that they're in, and then they just register. I know the upcoming registration is closing on August 4th, so this is a plug for anybody who wants to get in before the registration closes. August 4th is the deadline.
Yeah, it's here to stay.
And it is here to stay.
Right, and that makes you happy as a parent too.
Yes, I've been doing it for 5 years now, and it's been the best decision that I could have made. It's so much fun for the kids.
Very good. Physical and mental health, folks, very important for the well-being of kids and adults. Flag football is a great recreational sport for the mind, the body, and the spirit. Jerome, thank you so much for joining us today.
Great, thank you.
It was great talking about flag football, especially in the wonderful place of Yorktown. They really got a great park there in McReynolds. So I want to thank our great guest today, Woods Woolwine. He's the general manager of the Newport News Golf Club, and also Jerome Ford, talking about the wonderful sport of flag football. For our great crew on staff and Ray Price, I'm Greg Bicaveras. Happy August, and we'll talk to you soon.